here we go. We're going to force feed it every single time to prove that you're not good enough to have plays run for you. Right? Or
it's evil.
Yeah, it's evil, but it's like the ultimate exposure of, okay, you want it? All right, here we go. All right, you think you're being underutilized?
Wait a minute.
Hawk's like, I'm ready. Yeah,
right,
throw it to me.
Come on, let's do it. Finally.
Let's examine this for a second, okay? Because as far as Heat basketball goes over 15 years, this would represent the apocalypse of the last 15 years. For whatever Mike Ryan's complaints were about Kyle Lowry, that's the best teams they've had since 2014, the ones that had Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry trying to grit their way to the end of the line. But they've clearly been passed by, and this would have been unthinkable, unseeable a few years ago. Clearly been passed by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Clearly been passed by the New York Knicks. These were the teams that they stepped on their neck on their way to what the last 15 years of excellence has been here.
It seems like one guy is the cog in that whole scenario. Is the guy that you tried to get, Donovan Mitchell, has made the Cavs the best team in the East, maybe the best team in the league.
Well, there are a lot of other things in play that Amin can attest to. I mean, Jarrett Allen looks most like the ABA in the entire league, and him and Mobley give them a front line that the New York Knicks went through easily with Mitchell Robinson, and now it looks a little different the way they've formed the entire team, and Garland is your fourth best player.
Allen was hurt when Mitchell Robinson went through the Cavs.
Yeah, and also I just think that time goes by, and that was, like, I think their first playoffs for that group, and now they're not the same people they were a couple of years ago. And I think that this is, like, Cleveland is just a team that has matured. It's taken them some time. They've taken their lumps, but they've matured. And you throw in an addition of Kenny Atkinson as a head coach, and he's got a different outlook and a different way of strategizing. I think all that stuff conspires to give you a much better team, even though you look at the personnel. So it's the same guys that got ran through by Mitchell Robinson.
So how did Jimmy Butler end up on the Warriors?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
The trade.
Like, what was the catalyst?
So
at the end, how did it ultimately end there?
Wiggins, Kyle Anderson.
No, hold on. Oh. May I? So on trade deadline day, there was like a 15-hour window where there was a chance. There was like, holy crap, Kevin Durant's coming to the Heat.
Yeah, that's what you said. I mean,
that's not what I said. First of all, I didn't say it on air. Second of all, that's not what I said.
And can I say this? This is the honest to God truth. This is the first time I've ever heard this.
There you go. See, that's why I'm catching him up. This is like Cliff Notes.
Swear.
Cliff Notes for anyone who has missed the NBA. Like, I'll catch you up here. So the Suns were the only team that was willing to take Jimmy Butler, right? Mm-hmm. And so then the Suns and the Heat tried to do a three-way deal with the Warriors. Okay. The Warriors wanted Kevin Durant because somewhere along the line, the Suns said, you know what? We don't need Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why, right? So deal was done. We're like, okay, Heat, you get a bunch of stuff, and Warriors, you get Kevin Durant, and Suns, you get Jimmy Butler. And then Kevin Durant says, I don't want to play for the Warriors. And so that deal kind of fell apart. So then the Heat and the Suns try to make something happen, but then Kevin Durant said, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to finish the season in Phoenix. So then the Warriors and the Heat were like, well, what about us? Now, mind you, a little bit earlier in the year, the Warriors just said they don't want any parts of Jimmy Butler because they don't want to pay. It's not about now. It's about 2 years from now. Well, somewhere along the lines, I guess because they started losing a lot since then, and also Steph Curry was depressed and stuff. He's like, man, every day I got to do everything myself. This is too hard. And so the Warriors are like, okay, maybe we can pay him. And then meanwhile, the Heat were like, okay, we kind of like, we'll take Andrew Wiggins, we'll take Kyle Anderson, we'll take.
Yeah. I have no idea why you were so eager to do this.
Because I'm catching them up. Some people were. You know what, Dan? You assume too much. You assume some people didn't know or just know everything. But people like Hawk were like, hey,
smarter.
Love the show.
So ultimately, that's how he ended up with the Warriors.
So